On a stormy night in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, a 911 dispatcher picks up a call from an old copper landline. The voice is a teenage girl whispering, "I can't see the shore. Is anyone coming?" Then a long rush of water. Click. The callback screen lists a number that shouldn't work. Because the payphone at McCarty's Cove, the one tied to that number, was ripped out 9 years ago. Investigators assume it's a spoof, but the audio has artifacts that match older analog copper. Line hum, a pitch wobble when the wind spikes. It's the kind of fingerprint you don't fake by accident. They pull the night's maintenance logs, no technicians on duty. They pull the weather, wind line straight out of the north, barometer dropping fast. On Lake Superior, that means one thing: water moving in places it shouldn't. The missing caller. Her name matches a girl who vanished off Presque Isle in 1998. And this isn't the first time her number has rung through. Dispatchers start collecting impossible calls. Dead numbers, demolished cabins, a ranger station that burned in 2003. Each call is short, 30 to 50 seconds, always during strong wind shifts, always ending with water. They bring in Howard Lemke, retired NOAA weather radio operator from Marquette. He listens to the tapes without commentary, then asks one question: do these fall on seiche nights? A seiche is a standing wave, Superior's version of a bathtub slosh. Sudden pressure changes can push water levels up and down several feet, stressing everything: docks, lines, and sometimes old cables that should be silent. Howard shows them his logbooks. On every night an impossible call hits. He's also recorded anomalies. NOAA station KIG 83 throws a half-second dropout, then a faint voice rides the carrier, like the lake itself is carrying sound. They sync timestamps. The calls and the radio dropouts match within seconds. One of Howard S. tapes includes a whisper that chills the room. It speaks the host's first name, a name it shouldn't know. 5 years before the host ever came to the UP, fishermen start reporting their VHF sets saying their names, first names only, right before a gust front. A boat named North Mercy logs a weather buoy broadcasting the captain's nickname. The transcript reads like a prank, but the buoy was in diagnostic mode, no voice output by design. The investigation turns underwater. A tech dive team targets a trench near Black Rocks, where an old shoreline cable once ran. The sonar picks up a sagging span draped like wet ribbon, half buried in silt. Not power, telecom, and leading west, toward a place locals call Gull S Room, a pocket in the basalt where currents stall and odd things collect. On land, the host interviews the missing girl's mother. She kept the same number, paying the bill each month in case. When the dispatcher plays the new tape, Mom collapses, not because she recognizes the voice, but because of the background, a click-thump-click. She heard every winter in their old house when the furnace did its first start of the season. The old house was demolished in 2006, but the click-thump pattern on the tape, it matches the furnace model the family owned. The divers drop into Gull's room at dawn. Visibility 8 feet, temperature 42 degrees. They follow the cable, lights knifing through green water, until a black rectangle appears, a steel doorframe, crusted with zebra mussels. Beyond it, walls. A room, not a house. A utility bunker from the 1960s, storm shelter/relay hut, built into the rock, later flooded when the shoreline shifted. The door, once above water, is now 12 feet down. Inside, the silt preserves everything in eerie stillness. A desk, a rotary phone, a clipboard sealed in a plastic sleeve, and on the far wall, a calendar. The plastic over the calendar is intact. The date circled in red, October 4th, 1998, the missing girl's 15th birthday. The phone is still hardwired to the old landline. The divers bag the clipboard. On it, a checklist of line stability tests, performed whenever a seiche warning is issued. Last signature, the same day the calendar is circled. Back on shore, Howard plays a fresh NOAA recording. Wind howls. Then a steady woman's voice, not the teenage caller. Line test complete. Relay unstable. Echo risk high. If this message is repeated, do not answer. That warning, do not answer, was timestamped 2 hours before the 911 call came in. A final seiche sweeps the coast the following week. Dispatch patches the host, Howard, and the missing girl's mother into a quiet line. If anything comes through, they'll all hear it together. At 2:13 a.m., the carrier tone on KIG 83 shivers. The line rustles. Then a voice, not the teenager. Older, calm. If you can hear me, we never left. We're always in the room you're in. The mother whispers her daughter's name. The voice continues. Do not come down. You'll only add a voice to the water. Tell them the red dates were wrong. The lake doesn't take. It keeps. For 30 seconds, everyone listens to a noise that could be wind, or water, or breathing. The host finally says, "Who are you?" A pause, then a repeat of the NOAA warning from the clipboard, but altered. Line test complete. Relay unstable. Echo risk certain. If this message is repeated, it's you. The line drops. The buoy logs spike. And on the host's recorder, verified later by an audio lab, there's a faint, delayed copy of the host's last question, asked by a voice that sounds like it's underwater. The utility bunker is sealed by the state. The cable is cut at both ends. The calls stop mostly. But on high wind nights, KIG 83 still stutters, and fishermen swear they hear first names brushing the static like minnows. The retired operator keeps his tapes. The mother keeps paying the bill. And the host never visits the lake after dark. Final question. If Superior doesn't take, if it keeps, then who's answering when we pick up?